Hello there and welcome back to Szpakowo. So it's September and I've been doing some thinking in between recording episodes, and I think rather than set our initial farm up here, I think we're going to set it up over on this wheat field that we harvested. And the reason being is that once we have baled up the straw and cleared the bales from it, it's a nice open space with openings on all three sides for us to place buildings, get in and out or move between the buildings and exit onto the roads, whereas this area here is a little bit cramped for now. And also it has the soybeans in it that we need to harvest in November. So what we're going to do to start off this month is I'm going to buy a baler and a front loader and bale spike, and we're going to collect the straw. We're going to bale up the straw, collect it off of this field, put it in the corner somewhere, probably over here by the telegraph pole. And then we're going to build a silo here first of all, transfer our grain from this silo into this silo, and then sell the silo over there. And then we'll take a look at what other contracts we can do. So let's get started, and we'll start off by driving our trailer over there. So what I'll do, I'll start up the tractor. We'll load the barley back into the trailer that we dumped last night because we don't need to use the trailer yet. And so what we can do is just dump this barley into the new silo once we have built it. Once this is full, we'll drive this over to the other field, and we can leave it there and put it in the new silo when it is built and ready. We'll get over to the other field with our harvester and trailer, and then we will head over to the store. We'll take a look in the discount store to see what we have in terms of a baler. I would like to buy a slightly better baler than we had in Zielonka, but we'll see what's in the discount store, and then if not, we'll see what we can justify spending on a baler. I do foresee us using bales a considerable amount because one of the staple productions that I would like to build is a grain mill and a bakery. And so for that we're obviously going to be needing wheat or barley, wheat or barley, I think. And that obviously has a byproduct of straw. But also for level 3 of the VIP orders, we need TMR, total mixed ration, and that needs a portion of straw as well. And also any excess straw we have can always be sold at the end of the year, just to earn us a little bit of extra income. The price for it isn't that high when you consider the amount of straw you usually get from an average sized field. It all adds up. Let's take a look in the discount store. So, do we have anything that is worth considering from the discount store? Not forgetting that we still have to build up our tools and equipment, so not only looking for a baler, but anything else that we might be able to use. We're going to have to buy a mower at some point to be able to cut the grass to get hay and silage. Yeah, hay and silage. So going through here, we've got here's a baler. So what does this do? It's at a 48% discount, 125 centimeter bales, 15,000. We'll pick this up. We'll stick with our 125 centimeter bales for now. So that's another purchase we've just made. And then we'll need a front loader for the tractor, and we'll also need the bale spike. So where are the front loaders? They're going to be over here. Our tractor is green, isn't it? So do we have the Deutzfahr green? We do. And then is it white, the tractor? I think it's something like that, isn't it? So we'll pick that up as well, and then we'll also pick up a bale spike. So we'll pick that up too. Okay, so let's go over to the store, and I've just realised something, that we didn't get the front loader attacher on our tractor, and I'm not sure if our tractor can actually have a front loader. Can it have a front loader? I really hope it can, because we have... Oh no! Our tractor cannot have a front loader. I got way overexcited at buying the big heavy horsepower tractor, and it turns out it can't have a front loader. Well, now I don't know what to do. I think I'm going to have to trade it in for the JD, unfortunately. That's a little disappointing, because I kind of like it. I like the tractor. It makes a nice sound. It's nice and powerful. It'd definitely be with us for a while. But the only other option I can think is if we buy... No, we can't do it with a forklift. I don't want to be driving around collecting bales with a forklift. We really don't have an option but to switch out for a tractor that has the versatility of a front loader. That's a real shame. 96,000. Okay, so we only lost 7,000 or 8,000 on it. And we are going to have to pick up the John Deere. So we'll get that. Front loader attacher is Seria Pro. And which tyres? We'll get the Continentals. And then should we get wheel weights? I don't think we need them for now, do we? I think we're good for wheel weights. Okay. So that was an unexpected start to the episode. I wasn't expecting to have to trade in the tractor first thing, but that's okay. The only thing is, because we have traded in the tractor, I want to repaint the front loader attacher here, so we'll attach it to the tractor. I'll pick up the bale spike, and then we'll just quickly dive into the workshop and get the colour of the front loader updated. Okay, there we go. We've got a front loader attacher now that matches the colour of our tractor. So let's grab our baler and let's head back to our field and get some bales collected. I will make some progress with this and I will come back to you once we're done. Okay, so that is the straw from this field baled up and collected. 8 bales in total, so nice little stockpile of straw that we have. And so now we can start building our farm on this field. It's a pretty decent sized field to get us started, and it's very flat, which is just perfect. So what should we do first? Well, first of all we need somewhere to sleep, so we should probably buy a tent. Should we go with the tent again, or should we actually buy a house? Let's take a look. I'll switch off the engine and let's jump into the build menu. Farmhouses. So we have the tent, and then the next thing up is that a container farmhouse, and then a slightly bigger house. Should we get an upgrade? We'll get a container for our house rather than a tent. I think that's a worthwhile upgrade, don't you? So where should we put this? Our little container can go maybe on the end here. So this is our upgraded place to sleep. We have a container house now, not a tent anymore. Let's jump out of the menu, jump out of our tractor. Let's go take a look at our new home. Oh, we have to jump up on here. Does it have somewhere to sleep? Wow, I think I should probably have stuck with the tent. Looks like I'm sleeping on the hard floor. Oh well. Or the plastic garden chair. That's okay. We'll tough it out on the floor for now, until we can afford something slightly more luxurious. Back into the settings, let's turn off these interactive zone markers. I'm also going to turn off or change the painting cost, or the painting interval at least. We'll turn that down to 25% because I just think the paint gets ridiculously damaged in the game on the tools, so we'll just turn that right down. We'll keep the paint cost at 100. Doesn't really matter because I generally don't paint the vehicles until I want to sell them anyway. I don't think it affects any of the performance. Okay, what's next? Next is a silo. So if we go back into build mode, now what are we going to be doing with this field here? I am going to keep it largely for building and production related activity. So I'm thinking that we could build a couple of productions around here. So maybe our silo can go here somewhere. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. So let's jump into silos. We'll grab this. We'll just get rid of these bits of straw here. Yeah, just to get rid of them. That's good. Get rid of that. Oh, piece. You can't get rid of that. Okay, no worries. So silos, and I think based on the fact that our silo filled up last month, I would like to purchase a silo with a slightly bigger capacity. So I think the one we had was this one, I think, 17,000 litres. So let's go for one that can do maybe 27,000, or should we go even bigger than that? 33,000 litres for 30,000. I think this might be a better idea given the size of the map. So if we're coming in here and off of harvesting fields, I think maybe we want the silo like here maybe, and then we can have this area here as like concreted over entrance, and then we can have our silo like here like that. I think that's a good place to have it. Okay, so that is our silo. Now, do we need some kind of machine shed so that we can actually store our machines? Although this does seem as well pretty practical. We could turn this around this way and have it against this side of the field here. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And that can be to store our implements and store our machines. And then last of all, if I go down, where is that? It's under tools, isn't it? Our container sheds or our workshops. We've got a little bit more space on this farm. Maybe we could have a slightly bigger workshop. Could have the workshop maybe here next to the shed, That's where we can reconfigure our vehicles. Or something like that. That work? I think that would work. There we go. And now we don't have any money left. But that's okay, because we're going to go over to the other field and transfer the crop and sell that silo. And actually we also have the contract to collect from last month, so let's grab hold of that quickly. So that's about 10,000. And while we're in the contract menu, let's see if anything has come up for this month. What do we have here? Sorghum, parsnips, green beans, potatoes, parsnips. Okay, so I think we could do sorghum in this field. That probably wouldn't take us too long. So all of these are not contracts that we can do. And you know what I was thinking actually? If we look at our VIP orders, sunflowers, it's only 3,000 litres. And long grain rice is 4,000 litres. So what I was thinking is if any of the larger fields have sunflowers planted in them or long grain rice planted in them, we could maybe do harvesting contracts for those. So sunflowers are due next month and November. And when is long grain rice? Long grain rice is this month. So let's check our fields. We'll go to crop types. We'll turn them all off. Do we have any long grain rice? No long grain rice. So we are going to have to plant that ourselves. Do we have any sunflowers? We do have some sunflowers. So when next month comes around, we could maybe do a couple of these sunflower contracts, assuming they come up for, assuming they come up as contracts. Let's see. Growth here, growing, yeah. So assuming these come up as contracts, we could complete those and use the excess to get our 3,000 litres. Then we wouldn't have to plant these next season. We'd only have to plant the rice. So I think that's an option there. It looks like these are going to be ready in November rather than October, based on the shade of green that they are. So I think that's what we will do there. Next job is to jump in our tractor and let's empty our trailer into our new silo. And then we'll quickly jump back over to the other field, get the wheat loaded up out of that silo, get that silo sold. And hopefully by the time we've done that, there'll be some more contracts maybe? Not sure. We could do that sorghum contract to earn ourselves a couple of thousand. Or we could skip through to later in the day, see if any other contracts come up. And if not, we can just skip through to October. So we will see. Okay, so we have been over to the other field and collected the wheat from the other silo, and I've also sold the silo, so we got 9,500 approximately for it. So you can see our balancer has increased a little bit. Let's get it dumped into this silo, and then we can take a look at the contracts. Okay, there we go. That is that taken care of. Let's get ourselves out onto the road here. And what I think I might do before we take a look at contracts is just quickly concrete over this part of our field. So let's jump into the build menu. We'll concrete this piece over just because that can be our driving area. Okay. That doesn't look too bad. Yeah, now we've got a nice little farmyard area. Okay, so next up, let's take a look at contracts. See if anything else has come in since we last checked. Tell you what we'll do, we'll take this contract because we haven't been over that side of the map yet. So we'll take it and we'll send our tractor over there. And then we'll drive our harvester over there. So we want to go to and over to field number 10. We'll put them on the side of the road here like that. and then we'll jump in our harvester and we'll drive over there in the harvester. So let's take a look at what this part of the map is like. And then hopefully, once we're done with that contract, there'll be another one that we can fulfill. Been thinking also about the Big Roy idea I had in the last episode. I think I'm going to scrap that idea simply because the Big Roy is really for, I feel like it's for American farms and not really for European farms. They tend to be bigger and more vast. So I've actually disabled the plains and prairies, and just looks like our harvester, our header's trying to make an escape. Yeah, so hopefully it'll be okay getting over to where we need it to. It's kind of difficult to drive the harvester and the trailer because these roads are so narrow. Anyways, I've disabled the plains and prairies pack because I feel like it's definitely more geared towards North American farms. So we need to think of a suitable replacement goal alongside getting through as many levels of VIP order as we can, and we've just lost our harvester header. That is not good. Okay, so I've managed to get the harvester header attached to the harvester, but this isn't a good situation. I need to find somewhere where I can put it back on the trailer as soon as possible, because trying to drive down here with the header attached isn't a good idea. Fortunately, I haven't come across any cars yet. Okay, I'm going to do it just here. I think this is where we need to take a left anyway, isn't it? Yeah, so we'll take a dive down here. Let's see how we can get this header reattached to the trailer. As I was saying before those shenanigans, we're going to have to find another suitable lofty goal for our late game, and I was thinking rather than the Big Roy tractor, maybe we just go for the biggest tractor in the game, or the biggest harvester in the game, biggest field in the game, possibly, I don't know, maybe like the biggest trailer, the biggest everything, and harvesting the biggest field as an end game goal. Quite what that will be, I don't know, but when we get to our destination here, we'll take a quick look in the store and see what all of those equate to be. The biggest large tractor is this absolute monster, 565, 685. I feel like these are fairly similar. All of these are fairly similar, aren't they? The John Deere 9RX. So if we get that, 691 horsepower, what is this? 653 horsepower, and this one is 678. Yeah. So maybe we'll go for that as a tractor, with the biggest cultivator and then the biggest truck and harvester. So if we go down to our harvesters quickly, what's the biggest harvester? The JD X9. Is that the biggest? I almost feel like this is a heavier harvester, but this has a much bigger capacity. Yeah, I feel like this has a bigger capacity. More importantly, what has the biggest working width? So 15.2 meters, 13.7 meters, 15.2 meters there. So yeah, one of the big harvesters we'll go with, and then we'll obviously harvest the biggest field and cultivate the biggest field as well. Okay, enough dreaming about the end game. Let's continue grinding our way towards that goal. I will take care of this field and get the product delivered to the sell point, and I'll rejoin you once we're done. Okay, so we've almost done with this field. I'm a little bit suspicious because there's a tiny little bit of sorghum left in the field, like literally just those two little strips, one there and one just down the other end. But I'm under the impression that when the field is harvested, that the completion percent is 80. So I'm hoping I don't have to go and fetch those two little pieces. I'm going to take this over to the sell point and see if it lets me complete the contract. I'm hoping it does, considering it's such a small field. We're about to find out where is the sell point. It is down to the road and then right and then left. So yeah, hopefully the percentages are slightly different because it's a smaller field, but we will find out soon. Okay, so here we are at the grain mill. I believe the sell point is over here and in the little shed at the end here. It's not really a shed, it's like a drive-through just in here. Okay, let's get this offloaded, and like I said, hopefully it will complete the contract completely. That's interesting. I wonder if there's an issue with the tram lines, because there's definitely not another 8% of the field still in the field. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this contract is just going to be a failed contract, because even if we collected up those two strips, that's not 8% of the total from the field. That's literally going to be like 30 or 40 litres. So I don't know. We'll get back to the field and just give it a once over, just to make sure I'm not going mad and I've missed something. Let's jump into build mode and take a look. Yeah, because there's just these few flowers here, these few pieces of crop here, and then a little piece down here. I mean, there's no way that that is 3% or 8% of the grain that's in the field. So I think we're just going to have to call this contract failed, unfortunately. It's kind of annoying because we wasted our resources, our fuel, and our time harvesting it, but it is what it is. Let's take a quick look at other harvesting contracts to see what else has come in. Nothing in here that we can do, so I think what we'll do, given that, is I'll send the tractor back to our farm, and then we'll drive the harvester back over there, and we'll skip through to next month. Okay, so welcome to October, and we've had a little sleep in this morning. We woken up at 9 o'clock here. Let's take a quick look in the discount store to see what's available, see what's come up overnight. Nothing really that we can make any use of. Okay, no problem. Let's take a look at contracts for the month. I wonder if any of those sunflower contracts have come up. Let's see, what do we have here? Parsnips, spinach, green beans. Yeah, no contracts that we can look at for the moment. So I'm wondering if we could buy a fertilizer spreader and start doing some of these fertilizing contracts. Would be a way to earn us some money, which we do kind of need right now. We've only got 2 fertilizing contracts, so that's 37, which is over the other side of the map, and then 138, which is fairly close to us. Let's take a look at spreaders and see what we can do in terms of a fertilizer spreader. So here are our options for a fertilizer spreader. We only have 16,609 euros, not forgetting that fertilizer costs almost 2,000 per pallet or bag. So really we're limited to these 3. I'm not going with that because it's hardly has any capacity and a pretty small working width. This one better on capacity, but this one is the ideal spreader to start out with, I think. Yeah. So we'll pick this up, I think, and then we'll do some fertilizing contracts to pass some time in October. And hopefully by the time we've done that, some of those harvesting contracts will have come up for the sunflowers. So where's our fertilizer? We can only buy 1 pallet. That's all we have money for. So let's head over to the shop and pick up the spreader. I'll leave our front loader in here because we don't need it for now. There we go. And we'll head over to the store. Probably should level this ground out at some point, or maybe even concrete it over. I'm not sure that gravel was the best idea. Oh no, it looks like there's still a traffic jam here. Not sure what's going on. We have a car stuck on the wrong side of the road. How am I going to squeeze through? Can I fit through this gap here? Yeah, fit through there. And I'll drive over this, what looks like a cemetery. Sorry, dead people. Got farmland to take care of. We really do need some harvesting contracts to come up this month. Of course, next month, November, we'll be able to harvest our soybeans. If we don't get any harvesting contracts this month, I probably will just skip through to November, take care of our soybeans, and then that will be the first level of VIP order taken care of. And then we can... Actually, thinking about it, when I looked at the map earlier, or when I looked at the map last month, the sunflowers are next month, aren't they? Yeah, so that's why none of those sunflower contracts have come up, because they're all for next month. You can see the 5 fields here. That makes sense. So hopefully they'll come up next month and we can take care of those along with our own soybean field. Okay, so where are these contracts? So we'll do this one here in number 138. That's just down across there from the store. So we'll take that. And I wonder if it's worth doing this Deadwood contract. Where is that? 233 and 217. 233 and 217. I can't see where that is. 233, 217, that's over here. I have a feeling that's going to be really difficult to find. It's going to be really difficult to cut trees down in there. Really difficult to find them. When we do cut them down, they're going to get stuck on the other trees. So I think I'm going to skip that. We're going to take care of this fertilizing. And then we'll skip through to the afternoon. See what else there is to do. And if there isn't anything, we will skip through to November and do some harvesting. Don't foresee this taking too long at all. It's a good thing about spreaders, they have a fairly wide working width, so completing fields doesn't take too much effort. We'll zip around here. Oh, just make sure we get the corner in there. So probably once around the headland, and then 2 passes of the interior, the field. Oh, I didn't do that right, did I? I need to stick over here. I'll drive over here. Just do this last little piece and then we can call that complete. So 180, 170 litres of fertiliser used, and a nice little boost to our bank balance. Let's collect that contract. And does anything else come up? I don't really want to travel to that side of the field. No, so what I'll do is we'll go back over to the store. We'll buy another bag of fertilizer, fill up with fuel, and then we'll head back to our farm and skip through to November. Okay, so November is here. Let's take a quick look at our fields. Wow, look at all of that stuff that's ready to harvest. Mostly grass, but there are a considerable amount of other fields ready to harvest, so I think we're going to have a busy month harvesting various things. Our priority is obviously our own field, so we will get that taken care of first of all. But let's take a look at the harvesting contracts just to see what we might be able to take care of. Now, our priority here is going to be sunflowers, so anything that has sunflowers in, I'm going to take. So we'll take this one over here with sunflowers. And what else do we have? We have soybeans. That's that field there. We probably don't need to do the soybean contract. Because as long as we get, what was it? 2,000 litres of soybeans out of our own field, that's all we need for that first level of VIP order. So let's close up our little container. Crop sensor requires daylight. That's okay. We don't need the crop sensor right now. Let's connect up to our trailer. We will send the tractor and trailer over to that field, our own field, and we'll get those soybeans harvested. So we are almost done harvesting this field. We got one trailer load, or one harvester load, which is 4,900, plus around another 2,000 litres. So not a bad haul, definitely enough to complete our first level of VIP order. Now the next thing we're going to need to do in terms of this field is cultivate it. So we'll need to get enough money together to buy a cultivator, and then next year I think we're going to use this field for our long grain rice, so we'll have to turn it into a rice field and plant long grain rice in it, and then I wonder what we can do with that rice. I don't know how much I don't know if creating a rice field actually costs money. I'm not too sure. And I wonder if we can actually get away without cultivating it if we're creating a rice field. That I am not sure of either. I wonder whether it needs cultivating for it to be a rice field, and if it can be cultivated before long grain rice and it isn't, whether that affects the yield. because I know that you have to draw the rice field in. It's not just something that you can do with a cultivator, because the rice field obviously needs to have the ability to be flooded. Okay, so here we are approaching the farm, and this header trailer is far from ideal, especially on these gravel tracks. You can see the harvester's almost, you can see the headers falling off because this track is so rough. We're going to have to just drag it along here and then pick it up manually by the looks of it. Yeah, so far from ideal header trailer and header situation we've got here. Gonna have to look at upgrading our harvester at some point when we can afford it, in the not too distant future, hopefully. It seems to be fine on tarmac roads because they're smooth and the header doesn't get shaken around, but because it just sits loose on the trailer and doesn't stick to it, it's not the same story on gravel roads, unfortunately. What are your thoughts on Szpakowo so far? Are you liking the map? I think it's quite a cool map. I do appreciate the effort these mod authors put into creating fun mods for us to play with. I couldn't even begin to imagine the level of effort to create something as crazy and detailed as a map like this. It's something that's way beyond the scope of my creativity. Okay, so the field is just up here. I believe we're taking this right coming up. Not this one, but this next one up here. So just down here. And then our sunflowers are in this field over here. So we've got plenty of space to detach the trailer and hook the header up. So let's get this completed. Before we do, we'll jump into the contract menu and see if any other contracts have come up. So let's take a look. Any of those other sunflowers? Nope, no other sunflower contracts. That's unfortunate. If we look at the fields, turn them all off, put the sunflowers to on. Have they been harvested yet? They have not. One of them has. 224 has been harvested. Hopefully 245, 154 and 46 will come up as contracts at some point throughout the course of this month, but we will see. So let's put this on a worker and oh, we need a sunflower header. Of course we do. Of course we need a sunflower header. I completely forgot about the need for a different type of header. My mistake. Well, not my mistake. I knew that it was necessary, but I completely forgot about it. So, back over to the farm. And we're going to have to ditch the regular header. Now, this poses a problem because we do not have enough money for a sunflower header. It's 25,000. I completely forgot about that when I was doing the contracts last month, when I bought that extra fertilizer. We're going to have to take a look at this. If we look in our contracts, there's only tiny fertilizing contracts. There's the deadwood contract over there, but as I mentioned, I don't really want to do the deadwood contracts in those thick forests. Where's the map gone? And this may be our only option. How much are the soybeans worth? Soybeans, we have 7,000 litres of soybeans. So we'll get 14,000 for the VIP order. And then 7,000, so that'll make 21,000. And then we have 30,000 litres of straw at 80. So that'll be 3,200. I think we may just about be able to get enough money for this header. We'll sell the soybeans, we'll get the VIP order money, then we'll load up the bales, get the money for that, and then we'll hope That'll work, right? We'll just hope, and it'll work out. I really have no idea. I think we're going to be pretty close to the 25,000 that we need, and we'll be able to do fertilizing contracts, the tiny fertilizing contracts to finish it off if we don't end up having quite enough. We will see. Okay, so we are approaching the sell point for the soybeans level 1 VIP order. Let's see how much we get. So we'll change the tip side to the right and get these offloaded. And there's a little VIP order completion jingle. And how much do we have? 23,329. That's a good start. That's more than I thought we'd have. So we only need another 1,800 to afford the corn header. So let's head back to the farm and load up the bales. Okay, so we are loaded up with our bales. Let's see where they are going to. Straw bales over to either Derek or Katie sell point. So Derek's sell point is the closest, so we'll tag that. And I think I know where that is. Let's head back over there now. I don't know that our bales are going to survive this gravel track. In fact, they're not even surviving getting off the farm. Oh, that's not what I wanted. It's turning out to be one of those months, isn't it, where nothing's going to go right. I should probably have reconfigured this to be a bale trailer. That's my own laziness. And thinking that I could wangle it. Okay, let's try like this. Yeah, there's no, because this is configured as a grain trailer, there's no fasteners to secure the load down. We're just going to have to take it fairly slow, I think. I know that that one bale is definitely going to escape at some point. It's guaranteed. That bale really wants to escape, doesn't it? Not far away now. Come on, bale. Hang on. Hang on for this last little bit. Do me a favour. This has not been a good month for Puppington Farms so far. I'm taking a right down this little track here. Almost there. I think we're going to make it. Where is it exactly? So it's around the back of this building. This is actually a pretty cool little sell point. I like it. No! Bail down. Okay, well, we'll sell what we have and then we'll come and visit this again later. That's one gone, so 400 per bale. 2 gone. And then we'll quickly zip these off the back. And we'll go and pick up that last bale quickly. And let's take a look in the store to see if we have enough money for a sunflower header. Quick check in the discount store, just in case anything had come up. I didn't think it would. No, that's okay. So let's go down to our harvester. We'll go into the combo for the headers. Now we have, this is 3.4, 10 kilometers an hour, 4.2, 9 kilometers an hour, 3.5 and 9 kilometers an hour. 3.4 versus 4.2. I think we'll go with this one. So we'll pick this up. We will. And then we can get back out onto the road. We can put our tractor on a worker to go back to the farm, and we can drive our harvester and header trailer over to the store and pick up the header. In fact, the tractor can go over to that field where we need to do the harvesting. Okay, so we are approaching the sunflower field for the second time, this time with the correct header, checked and verified. So let's finally get some harvesting done. I'll just leave the trailer there, hook up to the header, and we'll get this done, and I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so we are making good progress on this sunflower field. We have filled up the harvester twice. This is our third load, so we might fill up this load. So it's going to be 15,000 litres in total. We might get to keep about 1,500 litres of that. We are at 2:26 PM, so let's take a quick look at contracts while we're doing this row, just to see if any more sunflowers have come up. Yeah, no more sunflowers. I guess they don't want us to do their sunflowers. Have they done them themselves at least? Or are they just going to let them go to waste? No, it looks like they're going to let them go to waste, unfortunately. So, yeah, I don't know why the sunflowers aren't coming up for us as contracts. That's slightly frustrating because that means we're going to have to plant sunflowers ourselves for next season. It's okay though, we can plant sunflowers in the other half of the field we have set up our farm on, and then we will plant long grain rice in the other field that we harvested soybeans from. So that's going to have to be the plan, unless something magically comes up before the end of the day. I doubt it will at this point, but you never know. You never know when our neighbour farmers all of a sudden realise that they forgot to harvest their sunflowers and they want us to do it. If something does come up, we will take it and harvest into the night. If not, we'll revert to the plan I just described. I'll get this field finished and we will get the load taken over to wherever it's got to go to, and I will rejoin you once we are there. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so we're pretty much done with this field, and I sent the tractor over to the delivery point because the trailer was full. Now, I have a feeling that 14,000 litres that's in the trailer is going to be about 98% of what is required to be delivered. So we're going to have to make an additional trip over there, but let's see. We'll leave the harvester here for a second. We'll switch off the engine because, yeah, we have 2,300 litres in the harvester. And I think that whatever's in here isn't going to be enough to fulfill the delivery side of this contract. We will see, but I have a feeling that it won't be. So we'll get it offloaded. And let's see. Yeah, that's not going to fill up to 6, 7, 8. Maybe it will. Will it? No. It's not quite there. It's probably about another 100 litres to fulfill the delivery part. So we'll have to go back over to the field, offload the harvester into the trailer, and then come all the way back over here and deliver probably what is about 100 litres. Okay, so we've loaded up the rest of the sunflower seeds, and we've made it back to the farm with the harvester. And we are just about to deliver the rest of the sunflowers. Now, we're already on level 2 of the VIP order, so we could just dump all of the sunflowers in here and not keep any for later. Let's take a quick look at the prices, given that we don't have much money. We look at the sunflowers. Top price is 1,400. So, and the current price over here, where are we? We're at here, so 926. So I don't know how much more of this we're going to have to deliver. Let's take a look at that first of all, and we'll see how much we have left. So it's going to be a minimal amount. There we go. So we've got 1,800 litres left. That's an extra 1,000 euros for us if we keep it. We'll keep it because the delivery place for the VIP order is not here anyway. So we'll take this back to our farm, dump it in our silo, and we will offload it when it's at a slightly better price. So I think this is a great place to leave this episode. I hope you're enjoying following along. If you are, of course, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I am intending on spending quite a bit of time here in Szpakowo, building up our farming empire and harvesting some of the massive fields. So if you want to see more of that, do subscribe to the channel. I'll be back in the next episode, likely tomorrow. But until then, bye for now.